What do you do when you don't know what else to do? It's like, hold up, God, I do what you say. I'm faithful to the ministry. We are doing everything that we thought we needed to do, and it still didn't happen. 2 days later, I had a miscarriage. And that moment is when my prayer life changed because I realized I had to be intentional. I always prayed to get pregnant, and he got me there.
Yeah.
But I didn't necessarily have a prayer to carry me through.
What was the moment like for you as a mother?
I have finally graduated from Godmommy and Auntie Kiesha. Oh, I don't even have words to this day that can describe the feeling. I think because we just waited and wanted it for so long.
Yeah.
Don't give outsiders the cheat code to your marriage. You have to protect your home at all costs.
Hey, Faith Girls! Welcome, welcome, welcome to Women Navigating Life with Faith, Fire, and Grace. We have another wonderful episode for you today. I'm so excited about our guest. She is near and dear to my heart and a woman that I truly, truly admire. She is a boss, okay? She is a director in the health field. She is also an amazing minister and supports her pastor, her husband, in ministry. She's a wonderful mom, wife, sister. I could go on and on, but I'm going to let her tell it. But I'm so grateful to have none other than Miss Keisha Brown.
Hello.
Keisha!
Thank you.
I'm so thankful that you're sitting down with me today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm excited to get to know you more. I've always looked at you as like a big sister, even though, so backstory. My best friend, this is her cousin. Keisha is my best friend, Nicole's best cousin. And so, we've just hung out in times of hanging out with my best friend. I've hung out with Keisha, and so one thing about me is like I always look at women that are like doing something, right? Like how they carry themselves and how they speak. And so I look at things like that. I look at like whether they're reserved. I know we all have our different personalities, right?
Right.
But I don't know. I'm just an observer. So I'm always like kind of taking like little things from people, even just being in their presence. I know it's weird.
No.
But I'm like, oh my gosh, she speaks well. Oh my gosh, she dresses well. Here's the thing that I love. You dress well. And I'm like, you always dress classy.
Oh, thank you.
And so I love that. And so here I am, a young woman trying to figure out how to dress, who love God.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like the way she dressed.
Thank
like,
you.
she loves God. It's not like old lady.
Right.
It's still fly. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
You know, like, hence the dress sheet y'all can't see. This dress is bad. I'm definitely about to ask her where she got it from. Like, we're going to be twinning one day. But yeah, hair fly and, also married.
Yes.
And, your relationship has always been, I've always seen you supporting your husband, him supporting you. And, Graham has always talked about how, you guys are inspiring. And so I've always looked for like those positive references because I didn't grow up with it always. So I always, when I was around it, I would just sit and absorb like, wow, look at how she does that. Look at how she does. So you're one of those women for me.
Thank you. I'm honored.
Absolutely. So Keisha, let's get to know you, girl. Let's chat.
Yes.
All right. So listen, can you share a little bit about who you are, your background, and what faith means to you personally?
Sure. So I, as you mentioned, I'm the assistant director for Johns Hopkins Imaging.
Yeah.
I am a girl mom of one, daughter. I'm a wife. HBCU graduate.
Oh, period.
yes.
Clock it.
Yes.
Okay.
I love to travel and just like to have fun. Anything family oriented, it's me. I love getting my family together and spending time with family and traveling and things like that.
Yeah.
If I would have to describe what faith means to me, I think one thing that helps me out is when I think about blind faith. I think that, they always say that if a person loses one of their senses, the other senses are heightened.
Okay.
Right? So I think if you go into things with blind faith, then that means my touch increases for God. That means when, those other senses are heightened, when, blind faith and you're just depending on him, that means, you're yearning for him, a little differently. Those desperate times, that touch from him, that that feeling, you're more in tune. So I always default to blind faith, if you will, because then that just, again, everything else, every other sense is kind of heightened, and I'm just focused and, on receiving whatever it is from him.
I love that.
Thank you.
I love that.
Yep.
So as a woman of God, what would you say has been the foundation that keeps you grounded through life ups and downs?
I think that it rains on the just as well as the unjust.
Oh, my
right?
goodness.
So it's one of those humbling moments that you really don't know when your next humbling experience will be.
Oh, my gosh, that's good.
I think that...
Oh, this is so good.
Thank you. I think just kind of keeping grounded, that you're never too far above anything, again, that you never know when that next humbling experience may come. So just to remain humble.
Yes. That's so good. Like you said, he reigns on the just, because the thing is that sometimes we think, and this is something I figured out, and I had to learn in my walk with God, is that just because I love him and I follow him does not mean I'm exempt from going through life challenges. Life is just life. There's ebbs and flows. It's just always, there's going to be family cutting up. You may lose a loved family member. You may lose your job. Had that happen. And the thing is that it's going to happen. So like you said, you could be up and everything is going great, but that's where, the saying goes, and I know it's cliche, but I do love it. It's like you praise him and pray in all seasons, because you never know when a moment is going to come that you did not anticipate.
Exactly.
And it's like, my God, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you don't think that, it's like, you think when you go to church, you tithe, you do all these things, that it'll just, great things will happen all the time. You never consider that. What makes you exempt from trials and tribulations? You know what I mean? And it's a real thing.
It's a real thing. And the crazy thing is, and I always say, it's like, I know it almost sounds weird or like an oxymoron. I have always been grateful for the hard times. Because that's what taught me to be humble.
Absolutely.
Like that has taught me to understand that, hey, if I got money in one season, you better steward it well. That's right. Because in another season, it could be different. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so I'm grateful, because I always like to say that God has me by my collar, because when I'm like flying high.
Exactly. Like, he doesn't know how to, he knows how to jack
He's like,
up,
wait a minute, hold on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful, because it does keep me humble. In those times, I learned to be grateful. I learned to, always thank him. Because he can give and he can take away.
That's right.
Or not only it's just, him, it's just like life just happens, but he's always right there with you through it, you know?
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, that's so good. I love that. Stay humble. So take us back to a season when you and your husband, okay, this is something that I am just super excited to hear about, because I know just a little bit about it, right? But you were believing God.
Yes.
For your child.
Yep.
Take us through that journey with you and your husband.
Yep. So I'm hoping I don't get emotional. But it was a time. We had it all planned out. We had it mapped out. We would finish school, finish college, go back, get our masters, get the job that we wanted, you know what I'm saying? More money, you have it all planned. Then we'll have a child, not a problem. After we do all the things that we want to do, it'll happen, not a problem, just our plan. I'm in control. That's what I will do. All of the eyes. And it didn't happen.
Wow.
Right? Wow. So it was a waiting game. It's like, hold up, God, I'm gonna do what you say. I'm faithful to the ministry. I give 110%. My husband is really involved in the ministry. He's a minister at the time, We are doing everything that we thought we needed to do, and it still didn't happen.
Wow.
Right? So it was just like, what do you do when you don't know what else to do? You know,
my God.
Because again, someone who's think they're in control and mapping things out, it's just like the blueprint is not not adding up, right?
Yeah.
So, it was like, and then, as you know, being in ministry, you have to hear, and I know people loved me through this and all, but you got to hear almost all the time, did Keisha and Larry have a baby yet?
My God.
What are they waiting for? And it's like.
Rude?
People.
I'm sorry. sorry.
Right. And it was
people
like.
that.
Yeah, and it's like.
My God.
But it was like, I knew people did it because they loved me. They really weren't trying to do anything. But that's a lot.
That's a lot.
When it's like almost, that's where I want to be. Now, and in God's time, because we're all trusting God's time, right? So it was just like, wow, it just must have not been my time yet. And I was okay with that because I strongly believe that everything happened in God's timing. And it's funny because even in these situations, we didn't even know what was going on. It was just like, timing, is it, like what could it be? And then it was just like, I remember, probably this is 15 years in our marriage.
My God.
That I ended up getting pregnant, right?
Yeah.
So I never forget, I had a dream. I was pregnant. We were planning to tell all our family and friends. Couldn't wait. Just had it all aligned. Oh yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. I'm going to tell them because this is a win for all of us, right? Because everyone's been waiting, and everyone's we were just excited about it. And I never forget. I had a dream one night. It was close to like the 4th of July, and like I said, this is 15 years in our marriage. About 6 years ago.
Okay.
And I had a dream, and this little boy came to me. And the little boy came to me. I was in a house, unfamiliar house, and he gave me a hug. And I was looking at this little boy, and all of a sudden, it was just this moment of separation. And I said, "You can't stay with me, can you?" And the little boy didn't say anything, but he shook his head, no. And I said, "You're leaving me, aren't you?" And he said, "Yes." 2 days later, I had a miscarriage. A lot of people don't know. And it was just one of those things that I felt like I had to not necessarily suffer in silence, but it was something that I just, had to go through. I had a miscarriage and I felt like, oh my goodness, it was just, what do you do? Because now, because I'm saying to myself, like, oh my God. So they ended up having a miscarriage. They tested the specimen, if you will, and it was a boy because I didn't know it was a boy. And at that moment, it was like God was telling me, God was showing me that he couldn't stay. And in that moment is when my prayer life changed because I realized I had to be intentional. I always prayed to get pregnant, and he got me there. Yeah. But I didn't necessarily have a prayer to carry me through, to keep me pregnant, to make sure I successfully, carried the pregnancy. Yeah. So not to say that God did this to me or punished me, but it was just more so it's something about pain that teaches you those lifelong lessons. And in that moment, I learned to be intentional about my praying, my prayer life. Wow. But so it was like, okay, Lord, you brought me all this way. Right. To be, we were so excited and you brought me so far. And now you're telling me that I'm not going to be a mother again. My God. So it's kind of like almost feeling like you got to that goal and still didn't make the finish line. Right. So I'm just like, and I'm like, God, are you, did you tell the devil that you want to try me? Are you trying to try your child, Kiesha?
Is this a joke? Because I ain't with it.
I'm just like, who am I? Comparing myself to Joe. But I'm like, Lord, why you? Why me? Why me?
But that's real.
Yeah,
That's real.
Yeah.
Like, did you feel anger, frustration? Did you feel like this was an attack? Because I understand that your prayers had to be specific. Like, you learned to be intentional about your prayers. What were some of the the negative thoughts and the anger? Like, what was that you had to fight through?
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just all of that. Like,
really?
okay, I'm not good enough. Oh my goodness, I want this for my family, for my husband. I'm thinking about everything. I mean, everyone else actually, except for myself.
Wow.
I'm just like, how could this happen? Of course, being angry or feeling hurt, but also making sure that I don't let it change me or I become bitter.
Wow.
Because I also know that God is still in control and he still has me.
That's
You know what I mean? So as much as I appreciate, he let me go through that moment, but we know better. Right. We know better.
Course, of course.
I grew up where you couldn't ask why.
Right.
God did why did God do this? Why did God baby, don't ask God.
Don't
you can't
ask
question
God. No
God.
questions.
Don't ask him anything. So it's like I knew that it was for my good. I just couldn't see it. I just couldn't see it. And then in that moment, I also realized I had to be okay with God's no. And I think that was one of those other things.
I had to be okay with God's no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's kind of what turned it around for me. And it was like, you know what, God, at this point,
wow,
Keisha's no longer in control. You have to do it if it's going to be done because I am completely empty.
Yeah.
I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what else to do. And I'm taking my hands off of it. And then 2 years later, I got pregnant again.
Wow.
And then, Lyric is here. Wow. Yeah. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
What scriptures did you hold on to and practices during that time? Because baby girl is here. She arrived 2 years later.
Girl.
Tell me what scriptures, what support system did you how did you hold on? Because you still was in the wait.
Absolutely.
How did you hold on?
No, I was so it was exciting.
Yeah.
My family, again, we still kind of just told a little bit of people because we were just like, oh my goodness, I can't go through that again. And at this point, I don't want to put my family through the hurt too, right?
Jeez.
But, one of the things, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, lean not onto your own understanding, girl.
Yes.
That was one of the things because I did not know
you didn't
why.
understand.
Didn't understand what was happening.
Yeah.
Even in that, I got to share this one story with you. When I was pregnant, I got, because the enemy is always there. He is always there. And I remember getting a phone call from my OBGYN doctor, and he told me that my daughter's numbers were elevated for her NIPS test, right? So the NIPS test tells you about gender. It also tells you, so if it's too high, if it's elevated, your child runs the risk of having spina bifida. If it's too low, your child can run the risk of having Down syndrome.
Wow.
So in my case, our case, Lyric's numbers were elevated.
Wow.
And again, for a moment, it's just like the enemy.
There's another test.
Keeps creeping back in. And I'm just like, oh my Lord,
right.
Now you brought me to this point. And here we are again.
Yeah.
But my husband, he was such a solid foundation and buffer for me because he's just like, every little thing is going to be all right.
Yes.
Don't even worry about it. But I couldn't hear it,
right,
and I'm just like, the doctor's like, wait till, next week, come back in for your ultrasound because then we'll do an ultrasound to see what's what.
Yeah.
The longest week of my life.
I can
longest
imagine.
week. I mean, probably wasn't eating. And my husband is like, you have to eat because you are pregnant, right? You have to eat. I'm just like, Lord, fasting and praying and like, Lord, help me.
Like, no, baby, you can't fast.
Oh my goodness.
Oh God.
I'm telling you. And then it was we went into the room. I went to my appointment and the ultrasound tech was scanning me and she was like, well, this checks out. Fingers, everything checks out. Organs on the right side and everything seems right, but we can't look at the spine. And it was like the craziest thing because my daughter kept turning. She just wouldn't show. It was like she was showing off.
Man,
I mean, and I'm just like, oh, Lord, I know they're going to send me home, but please let them look at this. I need to know.
Yeah.
And the sonographer left, and actually, I'm just praying. I called my husband at this time, and I'm like, Lord, I'm trying to get involved again. I can't do it.
Ooh.
I can't do it. I can't do it. And it's almost like he slapped me for me. Like, yeah, because you can't do it.
Right.
And I just said, you know what? God, like I said, it's on you.
Yes.
It's on you.
Yeah.
The sonographer came back in and she scanned it. She was like, wow, this is a bright picture of her spine. She said, all is well, looks good. She must have knew. I know, I was like, that's my praise report, but it was funny. She said she must have knew that you probably weren't going to eat or sleep this week if I didn't see it, if they didn't see it. I said, you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah.
So it was just like
but
amazing.
You had to have that moment with God where it's like, all right, God, you had to just take your hands off and then look, like you got what you wanted anyway.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to know. I just needed that confirmation. It's just like God will always send it. It's like he just waits for us to be at peace first.
Right.
Like, I always say he's so funny.
Yeah.
Because, so a funny story, I went through something similar with my son. I was pregnant, right? And so with my daughter, she was stubborn. All my sonograms did not want to show what she was. Girl, baby shower, we had all this blue and yellow, all these neutral colors. When she came, first thing I did was I was like, I want to go to the store and get some pink. Because I had all this neutral stuff. Right. So then it was time for my sonogram with my son. And so I prayed. I wanted a son because I'm like, I wanted 2 kids. And I wanted a girl and a boy. I'm like, I want the best of both worlds. Right. And so when I was pregnant and they was like, oh, it's a boy. Oh, I see his thing. I was like, yay. I was like, yeah, that's my son. But the more that I went, they were saying that the measurements were off with his leg or whatever. One leg was longer than the other. And so then my crazy husband, he don't be making things better. He like, well, my daddy, one of his legs longer than the other. It runs in the and I was like, well, my baby ain't gonna have one. And so, and each time the measurements, it was showing that, and I just said, God, I want a healthy baby. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? That's all I want is a healthy baby. They weren't even telling me that the numbers could just be off. Right. Because that happens. The numbers can just be off.
Absolutely.
And so I wasn't getting any kind of like peace about it, but I just had like peace about it. I was like, God, ultimately, I just want a healthy baby, and I'm thankful. I'm grateful, and I didn't think about it not nagging until I had cesareans with my kids. So I was awake, woozy. But I remember yelling to my husband, "How's his legs?" Outside, they the same, and they were just fine, and so I'm just learning. And it's so amazing that, the things that we love the most sometimes is what God tests us with. Yes. You know what I mean? And it's just like, just trust me.
Absolutely.
Just have peace. Don't worry. I got it. And I've learned that the moment that I, take away my own anxiety, take away my control, God gives me a reassuring, confirmation. As you had your reassuring confirmation about lyric spine. That's amazing. But you and God had y'all moment first where it's like,
absolutely.
Let go of the control, Kiesha.
Yes, no, because you know what? Let me tell you this. The funny part about it is I oversee imaging. I have 6 ultrasound machines. I could pick any one to get one of my sonographers to look at to confirm the spine, to take a look at her spine. I work in that field. Yeah. But it was just, again, my way of being obedient, even when I didn't want to. I think that was the thing, too. It's almost I had to kind of prove to God, like, you can use me, but I'm crying and I'm sad, I'm scared, I'm nervous, but I can be used, because I could have just looked. So that's the kind of flip side of that. Yeah.
It's like, I'm scared, Lord. Yeah. I'm nervous, but I'm going to trust you, because he know anyway. He already know how you feeling.
Absolutely.
So it's like, why try to front?
Right. He knows I want to control that thing.
Yeah. but you showed that you weren't. Yeah. That's beautiful. I love it. Yeah. So when you received your blessing, your daughter, Lyric, what was the moment like for you as a mother and as a woman of faith?
I have finally graduated from Godmommy and Auntie Kiesha. Oh, my goodness. Yes. It was such a beautiful thing. Wow. I mean, I was beside myself. I don't even have words to this day that can describe the feeling. I think because we just waited and wanted it for so long. That it was amazing. And I'm like, all of it was worth it.
Ooh,
you know,
it was worth it.
It was worth it. And, I also realized pain pain produces some of your, produces purpose, It really does, because all of that between conception to birth, it was just, it really, defined me, as a person, as a woman.
Wow.
But yeah, it was something. It was beautiful. Wow. We were excited. I mean, we were like, oh my goodness.
Were you in disbelief, in a way? Like,
yes, we were. She came out. We were just like, okay. I mean, we were sitting there. We were like, we were excited. I'm like, okay, Laura, he took her. And I'm just like, I can't believe I'm a mother. I just can't believe I'm a mother now, and I'm just sitting there woozy and everything else. But I mean, it was the funniest thing, because we had our own little cottage in the room. So I wanted an Italian cold cut so bad. I'm thinking about food. And then we had her. And it was just like, la, 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 our own little family for a couple of days in the hospital. But we got to experience it. It was just like the entire experience was just phenomenal.
It was your moment.
It was our moment. It was our time, our season.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
oh my gosh.
What we've sown, we were reaping our harvest. So it was
beautiful.
It was a blessing.
And so to this next question, because sometimes I feel like we go through to give others a blueprint, or to encourage, others. How would you encourage other women who is in this, waiting season?
Just trust the process. Don't be discouraged. I know you're going to be discouraged. But try not to be too discouraged when you don't trust the process.
Wow.
Yeah. Blessing is on the other end. So just trust the process.
Beautiful. Trust the process, because there is a process. I am learning you cannot. You can't forfeit the process.
No, you can't.
There's sometimes in some things where it's like, it's like, oh, you jump and it's just like, oh, I'm here all of a sudden, right? God can work in that way.
Yeah.
But what if that's not your story and your journey, and there's a process that you must go through, And I just feel like some people don't get on the other side of the process.
Yeah. And then some things about the process, it's not even the other end. It's like, it's not what you're going to get from the process. It's literally the things you have to go through during the process.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's a greater blessing as well, Just, again, like I said, I learned how to pray more intentional. Those are the things that you kind of get through that tough process sometimes.
Yes. What's some of the other things you were able to take away from the process?
When I think about, just to love more, like everything I do is intentional now. I mean, the time that I spend with my family or, I'm just very intentional about almost everything that I put my hands to. But I would say that more than anything, it's just making sure you are intentional about your time and loving,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So speaking of love, you've been married to your man, my man. For 21 years, right?
21 years. And we've been together longer than that. We've been together for 27 years.
I love to see it. Come on, Black love. I love it.
Yeah.
Come on, Black excellence. Come on, Black family. I love it. Give us the sauce, sis. Give us the key. Woo. Give us the key to the success.
Let me tell you. Baby.
Yeah.
So we were together 6 years before we got married.
Wow.
And this is, we were together college years, right? So this is before ministry.
Okay.
This is before God was in the relationship. And that's probably for another session.
Part two coming, y'all.
Part two, let me tell you, because it wasn't always easy, right? But we learned to fight together.
Ooh, I love that.
We are genuinely friends.
Yes.
So that makes the world of difference.
Yeah.
And I would always recommend or tell anyone, don't give outsiders the cheat code to your marriage, right? And what I mean by
Wait
that
a minute.
is...
Pause. Sis, can you say that one more time for the people in the back?
Don't give outsiders the cheat code to your marriage. And what I mean by that, oftentimes
good.
you might have that male friend or a female friend or someone lurking, or around.
Yeah.
But as much as you talk to them, trying to confide in them about the things that may be going wrong in your marriage or your relationship, you're only giving them the cheat code of who to become. So, it causes issues later down the road. You know what I mean? And I feel like
that's so
we
good.
are friends. He's my best friend. I'm his best friend. So with that, we never gave anyone else the cheat code to our marriage, if you will, and we just continue to, work on it. Communication is cliche, I know, but when I need, I'm expressing that, and
That's
vice
good.
versa. So it really helps. A lot of times, I think as women, we mask everything because we have to take care of the household. We're taking care of doctor's appointments, and we're trying to make a way. We're surviving because that's what that's our makeup. But I think that you have to be honest. You have to be honest, have open and honest communication, and that what I call when you're pouring into your spouse and your spouse is pouring back into you, then it completes the cycle. So when you complete the cycle, no one lacks.
I love that.
That's what I would say.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Sis, just to touch on a little bit, don't, give people the cheat code to your marriage. I think that goes with friends too. Because the thing is that I'm just a talker. I had to realize that something happened at 40, and also something happened at truly saying yes to God, right? And He revealed so much to me, and He's truly given me a lot of wisdom with how I move now. But it was nothing for me to vent to my friends, about what was going on in my marriage and different things. And it's just like, y'all could have moved on, healed, y'all good.
Yep.
Ain't nobody mad at each other no more, but your friend's still mad about what he did to you, and it's just like, and they want to remind you, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I had to learn, baby, you better talk to God.
Yep.
And you have, a trusted person, and God will reveal that person to you who could truly pray and will be, like they won't pick a side. They would just pray, but even still, I believe you got to keep, like you say, you got to keep things private and don't be so vocal about,
absolutely.
Get this, the good and the bad about your marriage, because people will hate on the good about your marriage and be waiting for the downfall, So I've even had to learn to, not always be so vocal about that. Unless you are ministering to someone or it's for a purpose. You know what I mean? Sometimes we do. What do we even do it for anyway?
Right.
Like sometimes, like what are we? Don't get me wrong. I love to like share sometimes a night out and all that. Right. But I've even cut back on that sometimes because it's like, what do I do? I don't need to do it. I know we good.
Right,
I'm happy. That's my dog.
Right.
Why do I always have to tell the world what is really the purpose behind it? Now, some people have a marriage ministry different.
Right.
I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to even down people who do it, but I want you to understand that as much as, you're putting all these great things out there, people are waiting for the downfall and will point out the downfall when it happens.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought they were so good. And they getting a divorce, whatever. And what I'm saying is people going to be people going to talk either way. But we are human.
Right.
And so what you do is you set yourself up to, the subjection of just people's opinion, people preying on your marriage, whether, they preying on in a good way or a bad way.
Right.
So I am so grateful for what you're saying because it's something that I had to learn for the success of my marriage because being who I am, super fun and outgoing, Elliot being who he is, it was too many people that was like involved in our stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now where it's just like, you could think what you want to
Right,
think. You
absolutely.
know, I ain't gonna give you too much.
Right.
But you could think what you want to think. And now everything is so much more peaceful between us.
Yeah.
And so do you like feel that?
Yeah,
like, is that
absolutely.
a thing?
Absolutely. I do. I definitely think it's a thing. I mean, I will share to help pull someone out of it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And usually, you know, I also think it's timing is everything. So you don't want to be premature when you share.
Ooh.
You know, so I feel like if I went through, you know, and I can help someone else, I'm more than happy to share in those regards. But I think, you know, sometimes when you share prematurely, when you're still going through, that's when someone can infiltrate. You know what I mean? So timing is everything.
Timing is everything. And being real about that too, because it's like, how am I gonna be out here with oh gosh, Lord forget. I'm not coming for y'all, I promise. But how you gonna be out here? You've been married like maybe a year, 2 years. How you gonna give?
Exactly. And those are the ones that
Baby, talk to me in like 17 years when y'all done been through hell and back.
Girl.
Don't you 2 years, girl. Sorry, no, you can have all the wisdom that you think you have.
Exactly.
No, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to have some skin in the game for me because marriage is too much ups and downs to me. It's seasons.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
You know, you can't
all
tell.
Of that.
No, you know, and
that.
so. I am just, oh God, look, I'm sorry.
No.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm with you. We're on the same page.
Girl.
That's it.
So privacy within marriage, right? Tell me how, like, you navigate that, because I think, because this is something that I've learned too. You know, everybody can sit at the table and they start talking and it become like, you know, kind of like, you know, when you're talking and you're with your girls, you know, everybody kind of get comfortable, you know, and if they're talking, it can kind of, you know, make you feel free or released to talk. Or I even felt sometimes that I needed to talk, like, well, let me share something, because I don't want them to be like, oh, she'll never talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
How do you uphold like that privacy standard that you have for your marriage?
Yeah, I never felt that pressure.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, because you know what? Yeah, you know, it's because the girls are at the
good.
table, but you're not at home.
That's
you know what
good.
I mean? And I think you have to protect your home at all costs.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, So
you
know, absolutely. So you can share things, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to share everything.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, it's a time. Yeah. There are times that I may share everything. Okay. You know what I mean? But it's not in the middle of the storm. Yeah. Sometimes it's, you know, you just have to be silent in the middle of the storm until afterwards. You know what I mean? Oh,
you have to be silent in the middle of the storm?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So don't feel pressured into having the conversation, I think. And again, you got to protect your home.
Protect your home.
Protect your home at all costs.
I love that. How do you both keep, you and your husband, keep your relationship strong while balancing ministry, family, and your personal life?
Yes. Yes. You know what? We have invested so much in each other that sometimes when we miss a beat, it doesn't feel like the beat was missed. And what I mean by that is I am to a point in my life where I don't need or want for anything.
Beautiful.
Not that I have everything or I'm, you know, but it's just, it's wonderful to be kind of at peace with stuff and with life.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
Know? So it's like at times we just, again, goes back to the communicating part. If he needs time to dedicate more to ministry, I got you. I'm your helpmate. So I'm going to hold it down. I'm going to do what I need to do on my part. And
I'm about to cry. That's so beautiful.
Thank you. It took years. I mean, it wasn't, it wasn't like that in the beginning. Yeah. You know, it was like, oh my goodness, you know, ministry. Your wife, you're supposed to love your wife like God loves the church and all, you know, all of that. We can quote it when it's convenient. You know what I mean? But in the same token, I don't want to be something that is going to, or someone who's going to discourage and bring you down either. I don't want to be that one more thing added to your plate. So, you know, putting that into perspective, but we also have a balance. We take time to make sure we are vacationing. Yes. You know, we make time to, okay, y'all, like just maybe even a couple of years ago, we used to eat dinner and everybody dispersed, kind of go to their spots. But now it's like, no, we're intentional. We need to eat dinner together. That's what we did before. You know, sometimes you get caught up with work and things like that, but we just make sure we make time for each other.
Yeah, I love it.
That's kind of, you know, how we balance, give and take.
Beautiful. I love it. So what role has faith played in holding your marriage together through challenges, would you say?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, everything. Just knowing, I feel like, Larry and I, my husband and I, we have, we really think God joined us.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, we have a commitment to not only him, but to each other to make sure we are examples. But I think that's that would be the main thing I would say. That's what holds us together and kind of keeps us grounded is, you know, we really think that we were meant to be.
That's beautiful.
It sounds like a love story, but it's true. You know, it took some time. I mean, again, we had to work at it.
Of course.
And I think the 6 years that we were together prior to marriage, we dealt with a whole, like I told you, that's a session, another session. Yeah. But we dealt with so much. Yeah. We kind of, at that point, we knew what we wanted. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it was like, we're all in. Yeah. Yeah, I
love that. You said that that you knew God brought you two together and that you knew that you two were to be an example for others. And I think that's so beautiful because I think sometimes we get caught up in what society pushes about marriage, and it's all flowers. Right. It's all just, you know, couple goals. You know, it's all cute, right?
Right.
But the bigger part of that is that, you know, marriage is a reflection of God's love because marriage and love, at times it's loving that person unconditionally.
Absolutely.
Loving you when you hurt me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Loving you when you disappointed me. Staying together while you're even just trying to figure out who you are. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And giving that person grace to even figure out who they are. Because I feel like we're always evolving. And so now I'm in partnership with you. I have to evolve with you. I have to learn this new you because we're always changing. And that takes unconditional love.
Absolutely.
And commitment and a respect. Like, you know what I mean? And so I think that's the part that's not pushed sometimes is that love in marriage is sacrificial.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just the wedding and how great it looks and, you know, to have someone. It's sacrificial. You have to go. You're on a journey with your husband as a pastor. You know, like you said, you support it. Now, babe, I got you. Go do what you got to do. You know, but at one point it was like, you know, you had to learn the sacrifice. You know,
absolutely.
And I think, but like you said, all to be an example of God's love. That what you just said, and how you know you support your husband's ministry. That's an example, you know? Yeah. And I think it's bigger than just I'm saying I'm a wife.
Yeah.
Or I'm married. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, it's an example of God's love.
Yeah. And it was hard. I mean, for me, I fell in love with someone who wasn't in ministry.
Wow.
I fell in love with my college sweetheart, if you will.
Yeah.
He was not I didn't see anything about ministry, minister, pastor. That was not in the future.
I'm cracking up. So you grew up in church, but he didn't.
So we grew up in church, if you will.
Okay.
But not on a journey about systems. Pastor, minister. No. We were going to church.
That's so cool, yeah.
So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Going to church, you know.
Yeah.
And so for someone or to watch him, you know, I'm so proud of him. Yeah. But to watch him get elevated, and it's like, it's amazing, but I have to go whether I want to or not.
Oh,
right? I married someone, I fell in love with someone who
Kiesha
was just little Larry from around the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, I never would have thought that this would be, our life. But, I'm thankful for it. But, so again, as he's elevated, I have to go. I'm going, for the journey.
I love it.
But it's that love I have for him. I know God has me.
Yes.
That keeps me, grounded and all. But So,
my gosh, that's so dope. I love that. Girl, I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's just kind of close out. Looking back over your journey, right? Marriage, motherhood, ministry. What has faith taught you the most about God?
Oh, remember when you said earlier he is funny?
Comedian, actually.
But he is always on time.
Ooh. Yeah.
It is so hard to get your timing out of the way, what you think it should be and how you think things should look. Yeah. But he is always on time, and it's worth everything. It's worth everything that you've been through. I think about some beautiful things are made from pressure and pain.
Yeah.
Wow. I would say he's always on time.
Always on time. If you could leave our listeners with one encouragement about trusting God in their season, what would it be?
Oh, my goodness. Trust him. I would trust him unconditionally. Like I said, make sure that you're not ensuring that you're not trying to control it. I think a lot of times we say we trust God, we say we have faith, but we still want to be in control.
Keisha.
And that's hard. It's hard to do. And I mean, really, it's easy to say, I have faith, I'm doing this, but we still want to be in control. And when you realize that you can't be in control, if you want him to work his best, everything is his best, don't get me wrong, but him to work his best in you, that you have to take the control out of it. So,
my God.
That's what I believe.
Well, if anything, let me tell you something. I know you blessed the audience, but you blessed me.
Thank you.
You blessed me, and I am definitely understanding to take the control out of. Let me stop trying to control it. I can't. It's double-minded if I say I trust God, but I'm trying to control.
Right.
So thank you. And I mean, you're a witness, of what trusting God can get me.
Thank you.
I truly appreciate you. And your story is so powerful. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Just share with the listeners how they can, stay connected with you if they want to follow your journey. They want to attend the church. All the things.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, I'm on Instagram. Under Key is Me. I'm on Facebook as Keisha Schnelle. Our church is located at Maranatha Truth Center, 701 East 25th Street. We also have nonprofit organizations that we are involved with. Eagles Nest Outreach Center. My husband and I oversee that, where we're actually, we have an outreach center as well as a community land trust. So we focus on low to moderate income families where we're trying to help them get affordable housing. So you can see us on anything. We're here. We're for the community.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Keisha.
Thank you.
Hey, Faith Girls, you know what to do. Thank you for tuning in. But I need you to like, subscribe, share this video. Let it be a blessing to others. Until next time, God bless.